before toilet paper existed, people turned to corn cobs, rope, broken pottery, and in certain cases, a communal sponge mounted on a stick. Throughout the vast majority of human history, post-bathroom hygiene was uncomfortable, unsanitary, and at times genuinely dangerous. So how did a humble roll of paper evolve into one of the most indispensable products on the planet? This is the history of toilet paper. It's something nearly everyone reaches for multiple times daily. Yet we almost never give it a second thought. But the invention of toilet paper is intimately tied to urbanization, disease prevention, industrialization, and even worldwide panic. I'm Aidan Thomas of Hidden History, and this is the story of how civilization mastered the wipe. The invention of toilet paper. For the overwhelming majority of human history, people simply used whatever was at hand. In ancient Rome, public latrines featured a sponge on a stick called a terrarium, rinsed in salt water and passed between users. In ancient Greece, broken pottery shards served the purpose. In coastal regions, shells. In rural America, corn cobs. In medieval Europe, rags, leaves, moss. Whatever happened to be nearby. There was no standardized approach to hygiene because there was no plumbing as we understand it today, which meant waste management was already a serious challenge, and bathroom hygiene only compounded the problem. Paper was first invented in China around 100 BC, though it wasn't immediately applied to hygiene. By the 6th century AD, records confirm that paper had found its way into bathroom use across China. By the 14th century, the Chinese imperial court was producing toilet paper at mass scale, over 700,000 sheets annually. Meanwhile, Europe was still relying on rags and plant matter. The reason? Paper was expensive. It wasn't treated as disposable. It was a valuable commodity, far too precious to be used once and thrown away. Then in 1857, an American named Joseph Gaiety introduced the first commercially packaged toilet paper. Marketed as medicated paper for the water closet, it came in flat sheets infused with aloe. Gaiety had his name printed on every single sheet, a move that was equal parts bold and peculiar. Even so, his product never truly took off, because most people were still perfectly content reaching for newspapers and catalog pages. The Sears catalog, in fact, became the unofficial bathroom staple in countless American homes. Some editions even included a hole punched in the corner, so the catalog could hang from a nail near the outhouse. The genuine turning point arrived in 1890, when the Scott Paper Company introduced toilet paper on a roll. Perforated, practical, and standardized. Early toilet paper, however, had a notable flaw: splinters. Wood splinters, to be specific. Paper manufacturing simply wasn't refined enough yet. It wasn't until the 1930s that companies began actively advertising their product as splinter-free. As indoor plumbing became widespread in the early 20th century, demand for toilet paper surged, because flushing systems required something dissolvable. Rags clogged pipes. Leaves didn't break down. Corn cobs were entirely out of the question. The Sears catalog refused to dissolve. Toilet paper stopped being merely a comfort and became infrastructure. Here's what most people never stop to consider. Toilet paper didn't just make people more comfortable. It helped cities survive. In the 1800s, rapidly expanding cities faced a grave crisis. Human waste was everywhere. Overflowing cesspools, contaminated water supplies, raw sewage running through the streets. And with it came devastating disease. Cholera outbreaks claimed tens of thousands of lives. Typhoid moved through the drinking water. Dysentery thrived in the absence of proper sanitation. Entire neighborhoods were wiped out. People didn't yet fully grasp the concept of germs, but they knew something was terribly wrong. The solution wasn't merely the flush toilet. It was an entire sanitation ecosystem. Underground sewer networks, waste treatment facilities, running water, and disposable materials that wouldn't compromise the pipes. Toilet paper became essential because it dissolved. Rags choked infrastructure. Newspapers jammed pipes. Improvised materials broke entire systems. As modern plumbing expanded, toilet paper was no longer optional. It became a cornerstone of a broader, public health revolution that dramatically extended life expectancy. Clean water, functioning sewage, personal hygiene. Civilization quietly steadied itself, and that roll of paper in your bathroom became part of the foundation. Fast forward to 2020. Within days of global uncertainty, as the first lockdowns took hold, toilet paper vanished from store shelves. Across countries, across cultures, across continents. Why toilet paper? It isn't food. It isn't medicine. But it's visible, it's bulky, and it's immediate. It represents control over one of the most fundamental human needs. When supply chains feel fragile, people don't simply stock up on essentials. They buy reassurance. The great toilet paper shortage exposed something far deeper. Modern life depends on invisible systems, operating flawlessly: paper mills, transportation networks, retail logistics. When those systems feel threatened, we instinctively grab for the basics: food, water, and yes, toilet paper. Because beneath all the layers of technology and progress, we are still preoccupied with the same ancient concerns. Humans have always worried about how to live cleanly, safely, and with dignity. But toilet paper only addresses one piece of the puzzle, because for most of human history, there wasn't even a proper place to use it. People depended on chamber pots, shared public latrines, or simply the nearest patch of open ground. The modern bathroom as we know it didn't emerge overnight. It demanded an invention that transformed cities, households, and sanitation systems permanently. Next episode: the strange and surprisingly dramatic history of the toilet. If you enjoyed uncovering the hidden story behind this everyday object, subscribe, drop a comment on what episode you'd like to see next, and hit that like button. Now take a look around your bathroom. Whether you're sitting down, about to wipe, or watching this very video, history is all around you.